I'm Anil Kumar. Welcome to my series on statistics. We'll try to understand how to find median and mode from group data. So the question here is, find mode and median for the given frequency distribution of marks obtained by students in physics. So the marks in the interval 0 to 10, there are 5 students, 10 to 20, 10 students, 20 to 30, 24 students, 30 to 40, 46 students, 40 to 50, 8 students, 50 to 60, 7 students. We have already used this data to sketch cumulative frequency graphs, the Ogive. I hope you found that interesting. I will add that part of the video at the end. Here we'll focus more on calculating the medians and the mode, right? Now let's first do mode. Mode means most frequent, right? So you have to look at the numbers in the students, and of course 46 is the highest number, so that becomes our model class. Now this model class defines all the numbers which we need to calculate the mode, right? So the formula for mode is the lower interval limit, which is 30 in this case, right? Plus there are a couple of frequencies which you need to consider. So let me write down those frequencies here, and then we'll place it on the formula. Correct? So this frequency just before the model class, we'll name this as F0. This we'll call as F1, and this we'll call F2. Correct? So basically it is L plus difference of these two frequencies, F1 minus F0, divided by twice F1, take away both of them, right? Minus F0 and F2, okay, times the interval, which is H. So interval here is 10. So that's the formula. Substituting the values in the formula, you can straight away get the mode. Perfect. So in our case, L is this value of 30 plus F1 is 46 minus before that 24 divided by 2 times 46 minus 24 and 8, right? And everything gets multiplied by the interval, which is 10. Is that clear? So that is how you find mode. So the important information which we have picked up from here is this. This is the value of L, right? And these are the frequencies. Now we'll use the calculator to find the answer. Simple as that, right? So it is 46 take away 24 equals to, divided by, within brackets, 2 times 46 minus 24 minus 8 bracket closed equals to, and we are going to multiply this by 10, and then we are going to add this to 30. So we get 101 divided by 3. Okay, so we get a value which is 33.6. Correct? So when we are talking about number of persons, we'll write this mode as 34. Correct? So that becomes the answer. So the mode for us is 34. Correct? Now let's look into the median for the given data. Right? For median, we have to construct another table. So we'll just add on to this table another column, which is cumulative frequency column, right? So we'll write the cumulative frequency, and then we'll use the formula to find the mode. Okay? So let's add the values. From 0 to 10, it is 5, and then 10 plus 5 is 15, and then we'll add 24 to it. So 4 and 5 is 9, and 2, 39. 46 will be added, 6 and 9 is 15, 85, add 8, get 93, add 7, we get 100. So that becomes the cumulative frequency for us. Now let us see how to calculate the mode. So mode is the center value. We actually have with us 100 as the total number. So we can write here n as 100, right? So we know n is 100. So n divided by 2 is 100 divided by 2, which is 50. So that gives you the modal class. Now 50 comes in this category. So let me just again draw this line. So that is the modal class for us. Now this modal class is going to define the parameters which will help us find the median, right? So the median formula is the lower limit L for the class, right, plus n by 2 minus the cumulative frequency before it, right? So we'll just write CF divided by the frequency within the modal class times the interval h. Good. So that is how we get our formula. We know all these values. Let's substitute these values. Now the lower limit L is 30 for us, right? Plus n over 2 is 50 for us. Minus the cumulative frequency, which is before this 39. So that is what we're looking at. When we apply this formula, we are assuming that all these 46 elements are distributed uniformly within this interval. You're getting my point. So that is why we use this particular formula, correct? So number of elements which are within this is 46, correct? So that is the frequency 46 which comes here, and the interval here is 10 minus 0, which is 10. So that gives you the median. Perfect. So let's calculate this value. So we have 50 minus 39 equals to, divided by 46 equals to, times 10, and then we'll add 30 to this. So we get number which is equal to approximately 32.4. So 32.4 is going to be the median for us. So the answer is, median is 32.4. Perfect. So that is how you would actually find median and mode from the given group data. Now I like to have you look on the cumulative frequency graph Ogive for the same data, and from there I like you to find the median, right? So the question for you here is, use Ogive to find median. Correct? So find median from the Ogive and then compare your value. What do you get? So I hope that makes sense. Now let us discuss how to sketch Ogive's cumulative frequency polygon curves. We have taken up an example here. With the help of this example, we'll work out few more details. We can also find mean and median for the group data. The question here is, draw an Ogive or cumulative frequency polygon for the following frequency distribution by less than method and more than method. So there are two methods by which you can actually sketch the Ogive, right? One is less than method and the other one is more than method. We'll use both in this particular video. We are given marks in the interval 0 to 10. Number of students who have got these marks are 5. 10 to 20 is 10. 20 to 30 is 24. 30 to 40 is 46. 40 to 50 is 8, and 50 to 60 is 7. So it's a good idea to add them up. So total number of persons here will be 7, 8, 15 and 5, 20, and here we get 30. So 0, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 100. So I've taken very simple values to work with. So total number of students are 100, and we need to sketch a cumulative frequency polygon or ogive. Now when I am sketching a ogive, it is a I should say a freehand sketch, right? So what I see both as normally, so when we say ogive, it is like a freehand curve. And when we're talking about a polygon, then we are connecting points with segments. So we are using line segments. To connect. Correct. So I see that as a major difference. Otherwise, they are exactly the same things. Okay. Now, what is an ogive? Ogive actually relates your group data with the frequency, cumulative frequency, right? So in the group data, you have a lower bound and an upper bound, correct? So based on this, now which one should you take? Should you take the lower bound or the upper bound? We have less than method and more than method. So that makes sense. Now let's first discuss how to do with less than method. Now when we say 0 to 10, there are 5 students, and 10 to 20, there are 10 students. Then we can say less than 10 is how many? We know less than 10 is just 5. So we are also making an assumptions here, right? So our assumption is that in the interval from minus 10 to 0, we have 0 number of students. So this is kind of critical to understand. So when we make our mark list with less than, we make this kind of an assumptions, right? Now with that in mind, let me create few more columns. I have less space here, so I'll just put columns very close by, right? So the first column which I'm adding is marks less than. So I'm writing here students with marks less than. Okay. So less than what, right? So we'll begin with marks less than 10, right? So let's say marks less than 10, right? So we'll say marks less than 10, marks less than 20, marks less than 30, marks less than 40, 50, and 60. So marks less than this, how many students, right? That is what we need to figure out, correct? Now in this case, we could directly see that by adding the numbers, we can find the cumulative frequency. So I'll add a column here for cumulative frequency. So marks less than this, what is the cumulative frequency? Correct? Now what we have assumed here is that from less than 10, less than 0, there are no students, right? So students are only between this interval. So less than 10 are 5 students, clear? Now since from 10 to 20 there are 10 students, so less than 20 will be 10 plus 5, which is 15, and that is how the cumulative frequency come into effect, correct? Now between 30, less than 30 means you have to add all these, so that is the cumulative frequency, correct? So you add 24 to 15, so we get 5 plus 4 is 9, 3, 39. Add 46 to 39, 6 plus 9 is 15, 5, 1, so you get 85. And then you add 8 to 85, so you get 93. And then you add 7 to 93, you get total number of students, 100. Is that clear to you? So what you've done here is you have created a cumulative frequency column from the group data given to you. Now from here, you can create the less than ogive. You get my point, correct? So now we will do that part. So what we are going to do here is on our axis, we will take on this side. Let me draw a line here first. So because we have less space, we'll just use these lines. Okay. Now I'm doing like this. You should use a scale to draw your curves. Perfect. So on one side, we'll write down the cumulative frequency. So let's say this is the cumulative frequency, correct? And on the other side, we'll give the marks. Now, since we are using less than method, so marks less than what? Upper limit, 10. Do you understand? So marks, we will use the upper bound of our interval, correct? So that is what it is. So because in this graph, whenever you use less than, you have to use the upper limit. So use upper limit. We are using less than graph, correct? And these are your points basically. So the first point will be 10, 5. So the points which you have to plot are the upper limit of 10 will give you 5. So these are the points which you have to sketch. Then connect them and you get your ogive. Is that clear to you, right? So that is how you should do it. Perfect. So now on this scale, let's say we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and that is 100 for us, correct? So this is 100 for us. And 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Let's put 50 here. Okay. On this side, we are going up to 60, correct? So let's do this. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, right? So the first point here, which we have is, for 10, there are 5. So each is this. So 10, there are 5. So we get this point, 10. 20, 15. So 20 is 15. 30, it is 1 less than 40, right? So we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 1 less, right? Okay. And then we have at 40, so let's write down 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, right? So at 40, we have 85. So that is 100. This is 80. Right? So 80 and 85, right? And then at 50, we have 93. So at 50, we have slightly more than 90. Let me put it here. And at 60, we have 100. So that is our point. Correct? So that now we need to connect these points with a curve to get our graph. Perfect. So let's connect them. Now here we have to also understand that this point less than 10 has been taken as 0, right? So we do have a point here which is 0, 0. And that was the very important point to start with. Correct? So less than 0 is 0, 0. So we have this point, which is a critical point. You should always have this point in your graph, correct? Now let's connect. So this is how we connect them, simple as that. That's it. So that becomes your ogive, and this one is for less than method. Correct? So I hope the steps are absolutely clear. Right? Now we'll take up more than method in part 2. Now let us use the same data to sketch the ogive for more than numbers, right? So that is called the more than method. So in this case, we'll take the lower bound. So we are interested in these values. So again, we'll create columns. So we'll say, in this case, marks more than. So we have marks more than, right? So we'll create this column, and for the same marks, we'll have cumulative frequency. Okay? So that is what we are going to do. So let's create these two columns here. We know this total is 100, right? This is important number. Okay. Now, when we say more than what? So obviously 0 to 10 means more than 0. So here we get more than 0, more than 10. So we are taking lower bound values. Do you see that? And more than 50. So more than 0, everybody got more than 0, right? So cumulative frequency basically will have a number. If in this case, when we say more than, we'll write the number 100 there, right? So it's kind of going in the reverse order. Now, how many are more than 10? Well, less than 10 were 5, so we'll take away 5 from it, so we get 95. So we have to take away that number from the previous number to get the next number, right? So from 95, we'll take away 10 to write the next, which is 85. And from 85, we'll take away 24, so we get 61. From 61, we'll take away 46, so 11, and we get 15. Right, so, and then from 15, we'll take away 8, so we'll get 7. So that is how we are going to get the whole series, correct? So that is what it means when we say more than. So in case of more than, we are always looking at the lower bound. Is that clear to you? So again, let's now sketch this graph. Now you'll notice that the graph when you are drawn with the less than was going upwards. Now here, this has to fall downwards, correct? So here, we'll put the cumulative frequency or the number of candidates, right? So we'll just write number of students here. And the scores on this side. And on this side, we'll put the scores. Correct? Now, we have got our points. Let's plot them. Let me write down the scores as 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60, right? And on this side, we'll get the cumulative frequency 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So the first point here is 0, 100. So we'll just mark this point, 0, 100. Then at 10, we have 95. So 10, 90, and 95, we get the next point. At 20, we have 85. So 20, we have 85. That is this point. At 30, we have 61. So 30, we have 90, 80, 70, 61. So at 30, we have 61. Okay. And at 40, we have 15. So at 40, we have just 15. So 10 and 5, 15. And at 50, we have 7. So at 50, we have 7. So connecting these points, we get the Ogive for more than, right? For the same data. So you see, it comes down, right? So it is like coming downwards, decreasing. So that is how you're going to sketch it. So I hope both the processes are absolutely clear. So whenever you are sketching more than information, in that case you have to take the lower bound and then create your marks more than and the frequency for that, and sketch the curve as we have shown here. Perfect. Now these graphs can be utilized to find mean and median. So the question for you is now is to find mean and median. right? So from mean and median, basically the average value from the graph, right? And what we will do also from the data, we'll extend to calculate mode and median, right? So we'll extend this information and we'll see how to find mode and median from the given data. So I hope that helps you to understand how from a given information we can actually make cumulative frequency polygons. Whenever you're making cumulative frequency polygons, you could make two types. Less than method could be used or more than method can be used. If you're using less than method, in that case, upper bound of the interval should be taken. And if you're doing more than method, then the lower bound of the interval should be taken into consideration. So those upper or lower bounds of the intervals should be sketched on the horizontal x-axis, and the cumulative frequency for the respective should go on the y-axis. When you sketch them, then you are sketching cumulative frequency polygon curve, which is also called ogive. So I hope that helps you to understand the complete concept. In the next video, using the same data, I will try to show you how to find the median, and then we'll also calculate the mode and median from the same data to complete this topic on group data analysis. I hope you find it interesting and useful. Feel free to write your comments and share your views. If you like and subscribe to my videos, that'd be great. Thanks for watching and all the best.